So we use the from clause to actually denote the source from which the data we want to retrieve is coming from. And the source usually follows the from clause or the from keyword. So this is the source, but the source is a little bit strangely made up of two different words. And I mentioned that this is what we call a schema. And what follows it after the dot
your screen is off. Your screen
is
gone.
what?
Your
It's
screen
gone.
is gone.
No,
Oh, yeah.
I can see his screen now.
Okay, go ahead.
I can see his screen now.
Okay. So the human resources in this example, is a schema separated, and employee is the table. Both of them are separated by the dots symbol or the dot character there. And then we ended the statements with a semicolon. And I mentioned that a semicolon represents the end or indicates the end of a complete statement. Just like you use the full stop when writing a sentence to denote the end of a sentence. Semicolon indicates the end of a complete statement that can be executed on the server. So we then went on to look at different ways we could use a select statement. Another example that we had, we use a select statement. Instead of using asterisks, we selected a subset, fewer columns, right? We selected fewer columns. I also spoke about comments, making notes, adding notes to your query so that it will be easier to understand the next time you come to your query. And then we looked at filtering, how to filter some rows out of the result sets. So we said we use the where clause to do that. Now in this example, I said where last name is equal to Brown means I'm going to get all persons whose last name is Brown. We looked at another example using this job title from another table called employee. And then we also looked at comparison operators, the different kind of comparison operators that we have. And I noted that we've been using equals to before we actually get to this point. And we use the greater than or equal to compare numbers, right? Using business entity ID, a column that is made up of integer, a column of numbers. We compare that with another number, saying if business entity ID, we are looking for any data that has business entity ID greater than or equal to 11. So we then look at another way of filtering: distinct, to remove duplicate rows; top 10, to limit the amount of rows to the top numbers that we want. And we can also use top with percentage. Okay, and towards the end of the class, we looked at the logical operators. The one we started with was the like operator. We had several examples on that. We said the like operator is used to determine whether a specific character string matches a specified pattern. So usually we specify a pattern using the like operator to check if what the data we get actually match the pattern, right? Just like we're comparing as well. So we said last name, where last name matches this pattern. So this means, if you could recall, this means the pattern you have here means that any last name or any string that starts with S followed by any other thing, any other letters, any other characters afterward, but it must start with the letter S. We had different examples. There is another example here. This example is any name, any product name that ends with E, right? And here, any product name that contains bike. Okay. And lastly, but not least, was the example that combined the different wildcard, uses the percentage wildcard, Mr. Rashid. Okay, it was Mr. Lakim that was out. Mr. Rashid, are you with me?
Yes, I am. I'm with you.
Okay, so uses the percentage wildcard, and we use the range character as well to check for any letter, either M, N, or O. If the data that we are looking for contain any of this letter, it must start with, using the underscore character we said, we mean that it must start with a single character, any single character, be it number or letter, or any special character like symbols, and must be followed by any of the letter in the square brackets, and must be followed by any other letters. So so we had a good example, understanding, I believe, of that, right, when we had all of this example yesterday. So moving on from there, I'm going to look at other examples, but I'm going to make it a stop on on the like operator. So we are going to start looking at the other logical operators. So if you could recall, I mentioned that there are several logical operators, right? There is like, there is and there is or, and there is not. There is also exist, and so on. Now we're going to start with and, another logical operator. So the and logical operator, let me make a comment here. The logical and. The and logical operator basically combines two boolean expressions, right? It combines two boolean expressions. Two boolean expressions. Okay. And returns true when both expressions are true. Okay, so do you know what a Boolean expression mean, or what a Boolean expression is?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, let me take you back a little bit. Do you know, can you give me an example of any arithmetic expression?
Any arithmetic expression. Okay, I think the one we had in here that said if that we ask SQL to give us rows that has certain number that are greater than that is greater than 11. Any number that falls within 11 and or higher than 11?
No, I don't think we've had any arithmetic expression since we started the class. I want you to broaden your mind a little bit. Go back to primary school, secondary
Excel?
school. No, go back to math. Are you familiar with math?
Yeah, sure.
So can you just give me an example, any simple basic arithmetic expression?
Like addition, subtraction,
Yeah, so we could say like 2 plus 2,
multiplication, 2 plus 2 equal, yeah.
right? 2 plus 2 is a very good example of an arithmetic expression, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Why is it an
Yeah,
arithmetic
it is.
expression?
Because it has it's calculation or anything that is calculation is.
It's been quite a while, right? Because of the addition, the plus operator, because we call this
Okay.
operator here an arithmetic operator. You remember?
Okay.
It is an arithmetic operator, and it basically works on 2 values. There's no way you can use plus without having one value on the left and another value on the right. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because you basically use it to add 2 things together. So you have to provide the first thing you want to add on the left and the second thing you want to add on the right. So because of that, the entire thing there becomes an arithmetic expression, right? Because you're using an arithmetic operator.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I know.
So the previous ones, the one we had before, that has something like business entity ID, I think is the one you were referring to. Business entity ID.
Yes.
Business entity ID. ID greater than or equal to
Yes.
11. This is not an arithmetic expression. Why?
Okay.
Can you tell me why? Based on what I just explained. What kind of operator is this operator?
Because it does not have any arithmetic operator in it, like addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication.
Yeah, we can quickly
That's a logical one, right?
What did you say?
That's a logical one. It's greater
It's a
or equal
comparison.
to.
Yes, it's a comparison operator. It's logical as well. We can also call it a logical expression, because just by the same.
Can't hear you again. No.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so just with the same reason that we called this operator an arithmetic operator, and because of the fact that this operator is an arithmetic operator, and everything we use around it, it becomes an arithmetic expression. For that same reason, we call this operator here a comparison operator. So when we use it to perform some operations, we call that entire thing a comparison expression, or a comparison, a logical expression. Do you understand my point?
Yes, I do.
So then now let's talk about Boolean expressions. Now a Boolean expression, okay, is an expression that, or let's talk about Boolean first. Okay, so Boolean is a
There's something on the ground for me.
it's coming from, okay. So Boolean expression Boolean expression is an expression that is built into, or Boolean rather. Boolean is used to perform logical operations, and is usually built into programming languages. And it basically has two values. It basically has two values. When we talk about Boolean, it has two values. Okay, either true. It has two values, either true or false. Or we could also say either yes or no. These are the two values that it has. Anytime you write an expression involving Boolean operations, you're going to get either true or false. So comparison operator, the greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, greater than, and so on that I showed you yesterday, they actually returns Boolean values. Are we together?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, we are.
so that means that this expression that you see is going to return either true or false. Because think about it, it is as if you are asking, is business entity ID greater than or equal to 11? If it is greater than or equal to 11, you're going to get true. If it is not, you are going to get false. Okay? So that is what it returns. It returns either true or false. Now, this arithmetic one returns, is going to give you 4, right? Because 2 plus 2 is just 4. Because that is an arithmetic expression. This is a logical expression or a comparison expression that return either true or false. I hope that is clear.
Yes, it is.
All right. Now, similarly, I actually want to build from the ground up, because we actually want to talk about the AND operator. Now, the AND operator, it says it combines two Boolean expressions. Now, what comes to mind? It combines two Boolean expressions. Expressions are true. Now, if we say that this is a Boolean expression, a logical expression, or a comparison of expression that is going to return true or false, it means that AND combines two kind of this expression. Now, let me give you an example. So I could say, in fact, let me use example that will quickly jump out at us. So I can say 2 greater than 1, then I'll put AND, then 3 less than or equal to 3. Now, who can tell me what the result will be? The result of this be?
False.
Any
False,
idea?
right?
What did you say?
False.
False.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay. So I'm looking at the situation where 3 greater and equal to 3. 3 cannot be greater than 3. It's just 3 and 3.
Now, notice, okay, this part is a little bit confusing. Notice
Less
that
than or
we
equal
are
to.
saying this means that this expression means with this operator that you have, this is an hybrid operator, an operator that is made up of an operator that is actually made up of two operators, less than and equal. So what that means is, this is how we usually pronounce it when we combine these two operators. We say less than or equal. So we are looking for whether 3 is less than or equal to 3. Now, and of course, for less than, when we test 3 less than 3, the result will be false. But when we test 3 equal to 3, the result will be true. So we are going to get true as a result. Is that clear or confusing?
Confusing. So what if we have 3 equals to or less than 3? What will the result come out to? Like we're having the
What if
equal
we
sign
have,
before. That will be true,
can you
right?
say that again?
If we have 3 equal or less than 3, that will give
Say
us
that
true.
again. 3 equals what?
Equals or less than 3.
Well, it turns out that you cannot put equal before less than. You can only
Before
do it like
less
this.
than.
Less
Okay.
than or equal.
Okay.
So the idea that you need to understand here is that you have two operators, and it is either one of them, when one of them returns true, when one of the operators is satisfied, your expression is going to be true, going to result to true. You're only going to get false if both operators are not satisfied.
Okay.
Do you understand? So what this
Yeah.
means, less than or equal to, actually means, this is what it actually means. It means less. Please hold on, please. So it means less than or equal. Now it is either, now with the presence of or, it means either this or this. As long as one of these operators is satisfied, do you understand? Then you're going to
Yeah.
get true. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we haven't spoken about and yet. I'm trying to build it from the ground up so that we understand when we get it very clearly when I get to and. Now, so and is used to combine basically two
Hear you again.
Can't hear you again, no.
order for and to return true. Is this clear?
I think your network went off, so we couldn't hear you for. And your screen, we can't even see your
Can
screen
you hear me
anymore.
now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Your screen is not here yet.
My screen is not showing.
Okay. It's off again.
I can see your screen now.
You can see it now.
Yes.
Okay. So do you understand the explanation? Or should I repeat?
I think you missed out on the explanation. Your network was off.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking about and, right? I have already explained the comparison operators, which uses the comparison expressions and the comparison operators, right? So we combine two values, one value on the left and another one on the right, when we want to compare two values. And I said the comparison operators basically returns true. Now, we have another one here, another comparison or logical expression. Now, between the two expressions is and, the logical and operator. And what does and do? And ensures that the expression on the left returns true and the expression on the right returns true. If both of them returns true, and is going to be the entire expression here is going to be true. If one of them returns false, the entire expression is going to be false because and is the one in charge now. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Kwam, is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at an example. Let's look at how we can use and in our query. Say I want to write a query that will retrieve some information about some employees. Okay, and I want to filter the results down. I want to filter it to only include employees whose job title is marketing assistant and those that have their vacation hours above some values. Now let's do that. So I'll say select from what table again? The employee table, human resources. Oh, I need to change. I need to select. Remember, now let me quickly talk about that. When you're writing a query, in fact, let me finish that. It's just going to be a little bit stressful, but I'm going to do it. Human, so that because I want you to get this. Human resources. Now notice that I'm writing everything by myself, which something I didn't do yesterday. Yesterday, as soon as I start typing, SQL Server Management Studio will give me options, to pick related things that are related to what I'm typing, and I will just pick the one I want from the list it shows up. But here you see that I'm left alone to type everything myself. It's not showing me anything, and there is a reason for that, which I'm going to get to. Now again, the hard work is that because of that, I'm going to be typing all the column names by myself. It's not going to show me anything again. So business entity ID. Entity ID. Job title. Yeah, let me add vacation hours. I believe vacation hours is in that table. Vacation hours. hours. Okay. Now, if I run this query, already you see that it's already underlining all the name of the columns, like as if there is an error. There is an error somewhere. So if I select, it's going to tell me invalid objects name, HumanResources.Employee. Now the reason for this is anytime you open a new query window and you want to start writing query, ensure that you have selected the database that the table you want to query is in. I don't know if you get that point. The database that houses that the table you want to query. You need to ensure that you have selected that database before you start writing query. So how do I do that? I'll just go to the drop down that I showed you yesterday, and I will pick the database AdventureWorks 2019. And you notice that all of that error will be gone now. You see that? All of those red lines are now gone. Now, if I execute, everything will be fine. Okay, so now let's go back to what we set out to do. So where I want to filter it down to only include employees whose job title is marketing assistant. Marketing assistant. Now, and also that those employees, in addition to this, in addition to being only employees with the job title of marketing assistant, their vacation hours should also be above some values. Now you see the vacation hours column here. You see that we have different values there. So then let me pick any random value. Let's say I want to see only employees whose vacation hours is is above 48. So I will say, now how do I combine this expression with another expression? Because if I want to write that expression that will also filter for vacation hours, it's very, very simple. And it's something I believe you know. I will just do this. Vacation.
That is vacation
hours, right?
Greater or
Greater
equal
than,
to, or
I can
equal
use
to
greater
48.
than if I don't want it to include 48. But if I want it to include 48, I will do vacation. I would do vacation greater than or equal to 48, right?
48, yeah.
Now, the problem here is how do I combine these two expressions? How do they become a valid query, a valid part of the query?
You include an in between marketing assistant and vacation hours.
Exactly. I will just use and to create that combination. Right? Now, if I run the query, there's a problem somewhere.
I
Okay,
think the
the
job
assistant
title
is
marketing
missing
assistant does
S.
not exist.
The
Okay.
assistant is missing S. S
Okay.
before T.
Yes. Okay. I got it. Still problem. Assistant. Okay, let me actually check if there is marketing assistant in the table. Let me only run this.
We should do product design.
There is marketing assistant.
But the vacation hour is not higher than the value that we will have here.
So I think the problem is there is nobody with the job title marketing assistant. Yes, with 48. That's why we are not getting any value in return. So now this problem that we have here is going to be useful when I introduce all to you. I'm going to repeat this. It is interesting that it comes up now. So I'm just going to change this to maybe 40. Okay, now we get a result. Okay, let me reduce the number to 20. We still get the same value, the same thing returned, right? Because we only have 3 people with the job title marketing assistant, and the vacation hours is only beyond that. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is how the AND work. AND is used to combine 2 values, 2 expressions, and both expressions must return true. Now, this when we used it, when I did the first example and there was no vacation hours, that was 48, we didn't get any results, right? That is because this expression returns false, because there's no vacation hours greater than or equal to 48, right?
Yeah.
Is that true? Is it true that there is no vacation hours greater than or equal to 48?
For people, for employee with the job title marketing assistant, yes.
Yes, there is no vacation hours greater than or equal to 48 for people with this job title. Because if you go back to the table, there is vacation hours that is actually greater than 48. You see that here, 61, 62, 63. All right, that's out of the way. Now let's talk about OR. The OR is a little bit more flexible than and ensures that both expressions are true. Now, when I did this earlier, let me return this back to 41. Now, when I did this earlier with 48, I got no result back, right? No result. Now, let's try it with OR. You see what we got? Because this is how OR works. OR says that as long as one of the expressions is true, then the entire query, the entire expression should be true, or we just return true. As long as either this is true or this is true. If one of them is true, it's going to return true. Is it clear?
Yes.
Wait, guys, right now all of us have a gun, right? I don't think this is gonna cut it.
Okay.
Like that blue.
So if that is clear, now let's look at the example of. Now let's look at an example where I will combine. I will use OR with one of the things we've learned. We've learned in the previous session. So let's say I want to query the product table. So I select from the production.product. I want to get the product ID out and the name of the product. If I execute that, it's going to give me the product IDs and the name of the product. Now let's say I just want to I want to filter this down to only include products with name that starts with the word road.
Then to be where product equal to road in quote.
Okay, so that's how we get the token. That means they have to the blue. Anyways, what is a rug? I just bought a rug. Oh, it's literally just a rug. Whoa,
Can you hear me now?
wait, what's this over here?
Yes.
Can hear you now. Yeah.
Wait a second, guys.
So, now
What
I was saying, let's say I want to filter this result to only include products that have its name starts with the word road, or products that their names ends with bike. So, do you understand what I mean?
Probably get some weapons.
Yes.
You know what? It looks like we're not gonna get
Any
That
idea?
background, that
Any
background,
idea? Can you give me an?
Okay, well, I guess
that background is, yeah, okay.
I didn't get you.
Was the background was disturbing. That was what I said.
Network is a little bit bad. So can anybody give me any idea how to implement that? How to write the code? I want to see only products that start with the with either the name, the word road, or ends with bike.
Okay, that would be where
Okay.
name
Where name
equal to
equal
for product that starts with R percentage, then to be
no, that
percentage
starts
R.
with the word. Wait, let me put it in a comment here. That starts with the word. Starts with the word road. Road, or ends with the word bike. That is what I want to achieve. Any idea?
Okay, then that would be where name equal to percentage.
Where name what?
Equal to percentage, then followed by
Okay,
row.
equal to percentage followed by road, like this.
Yes.
Okay,
Then or where name or
where
name. I don't think
okay,
the where is
name.
necessary. Name
Okay,
equal
name
to
equal to
road, then percentage at the back of the road. After the road.
road
No, that would be
percentage
bike
bike.
percentage.
Okay, bike. Is that all?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to check to be sure that I'm correct.
Okay. So it turns out that if you did a great job, but if we run this, we're going to get an error message. Incorrect syntax near road. Because first of all, anything that is string, as I told you yesterday, has to be in quotes, right? Road with the percentage has to be in quotes. Bike with the percentage, has to be in quotes, right? Because it is string. Then remember, when you are using a pattern, you don't use the equal operator, you use the like operator. If what you are looking for is a pattern, right? If it is not an ordinary string or a number, if it is a pattern, what makes it a pattern is because we have the percentage there. If it is just road, then we would say equal is fine. But because we have the percentage, the wildcard there, the percentage wildcard, we have to use a like operator because this has become a pattern. Do you understand?
Yes.
Then we use like here again. And this should work. Let's try this. Let me put these on separate lines. Can you hear me?
Not before
Yes,
now.
I can hear you.
Sorry for this back and forth going out, and Airtel network is very, very terrible these days. So I just managing. Okay, so that is, you see the result that we got, right? We got bike wash dissolver. And it turns out that you actually robbed me, Mr. Abdurrashid, because the question was start with the word. When I'm looking at the result now, I realize that this is not exactly what I want. The a product that we are looking for, a product that starts with the word road, which means this percentage should be here or ends with the word be here. Yeah. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Mr. Kwam, are you following?
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at the logical knots. The last one of the logical operators, not the last one in the language, but there are others, but the last one I'm going to talk about. So logical not operator. The not operator basically is used to negate Boolean or a Boolean value. If you have an expression, that is going to return a Boolean value, the not operator is going to give you the opposite of that. For example, we both know that 3 greater than 2 is going to result to what? True, right? Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I use the logical not operator, let me just if I use the logical not operator on that expression, this is going to give me false. So the logical not operator is basically used to negate, and it is written this way. You have not, then you have percentage. So you put the expression that you want to negate in the not percentage, parenthesis. You put the expression that you want to negate in the parentheses. So if this is going to return true, the not operator is going to negate it, negate that result, and you get the opposite of that result. If that is going to return false, it's going to negate it and give you true. I hope this is clear. So let's see an example on that. Okay, I think it is time to have a break before we go for an example. Or should we have the example and go for break?
Either is fine with me. I don't know about Mr. Akwa.
Anyone is okay with me too. I'm just at home.
Okay, let's quickly have the example. Let's quickly have the example and go for a break.
Okay.
So, say select from the employee table. So using human resources, or I should just use the example. Let me use the example above instead of using another table. Oops. Oops. Okay. So just paste that here. Now, if I what do I mean if I do this? So I have select product ID name from product table where name like road starts, any product name starting with the word road, and or any product name ending with the word bike. Now, what if I do this? What would this mean? Right? Let me run that.
Okay.
What do you notice in the result now? If you look at the results, you're never going to get any row, any product name that ends with the word bike, because
Like,
I have negated that result. I have negated that expression. So this basically means give me any product name that does not end with the word bike. Not, right? Do not, do, and do not. Do we understand this?
yes, yes, I understand.
Mr. Kwam, is it clear?
Yeah.
Hello.
I think we gotta put the
Can hear you.
out of service. I think that's
Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to
Hello?
stop the recording
Yeah.
now. We should go for a 5 minutes break now.
I don't think we even do anything with the
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
I think the banks may have figured out that we were using counterfeit